Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where we have collected all of the uranium in the world, processed thousands of different items, and nearly drained an ocean so we could run the ultimate nuclear power plant. And now that we've automated pressure conversion cubes, we can safely run it without drowning in nuclear waste. Let me explain. In our diorama world, where each of these machines represents an entirely different production line that we've needed to get the system running. From quartz crystals, AI limiters, rubar, rotors, electromagnetic control rods, all the way up to the uranium fuel rods. Yes, we actually have those automated, and we're making 50.4 of them per minute.
So Kibbs, that means you can run the nuclear power plants, right?
Yes, actually, we can. We can run a lot of them too. Problem is, we would end up making like 2,520 nuclear waste per minute, which we can't destroy. Because as we all know, Ficsite does not waste. That is unless you just constantly flush it down the toilet, because, you know, always that option. Oh, it's one at a time though? Bruh.
Did you not see the sign?
Oh, Ida's not a fan of that. Also, I'm not a fan of this, which is why I'm glad there's a second option. Processing the uranium waste through a very complicated system into plutonium fuel rods, which we could use for power, or we can actually sink those in the awesome sink without any issues. Which is our whole plan, because if we use the plutonium, we get plutonium waste, and well, then we're back at square one. The last thing we just needed was the pressure conversion cubes, and since we have all the other systems done, all we have to do is set up a couple assemblers to combine the encased plutonium cells with the cubes to get our fuel rods, and then we can safely run our power plant. Probably, because some of our systems aren't working optimally, because I've been reluctant to upgrade the space elevator and get the Mark 6 belts. And that's kind of because we can't really add in any more systems, as we are already out of power and have 6 hours of battery life remaining. Oh, or 4 hours, or 5 hours, 3 hours? I have no idea. Long story short, we get the power plant here running. Once the reactors come online, then we're gonna have the power to automate the Mark 6 belts. We'll upgrade everything, and then hopefully we do all that before we drown in uranium waste. Got it? Cool. So step one, we gotta get to the ceiling of our base here, and we need to set up a drone port to bring the pressure conversion cubes from here all the way to the other side of the world. We have a drone port ready at this point, but we need more here. We have one there. We could do a temporary setup, or we could put the drone port in its proper position, which is going to be right up on the side of the base. See, there's been a lot of planning that's gone into all of this. Many hours toiling away at spreadsheets. So at this point, it's just putting the final pieces together here. Like figuring out at the nuclear power plant where we're gonna automate all of the plutonium. So quickly, friend. Onwards! To what? Okay, to the abyss, I guess. Oh, wait, no, now it's going back up. Where are you going? Can we still hitch a ride? Come on. It's perfect! No! Ow. As I was saying, we gotta find a place to automate all of the plutonium fuel rods. So that drone will eventually land right there, and then we need some space for plutonium. And it could be here, but later on we're gonna be dealing with Ficsonium fuel rods. So I do need to remember to leave space for that as well. I've kind of left that area and this area for those projects. Like for plutonium, we really don't need too much. We just need a couple assemblers. It's like 18 of them. And past Kibbs did leave a spot where things could work. Just right over here. Actually, I just checked my notes. We need 44 assemblers, technically speaking. So we're going to have to overclock, and even when we overclock these, it's going to be 22 of them. So right here is 8. So can we get 16? I think we can. We're gonna have to retrofit the blueprint, but it'll be okay. A little bit of customization never hurt anybody. Except even with all of these, and after we fully overclock them, we need another 2, which is tricky. Oh, wait, it is tricky, but it is also possible. Put one assembler in here, the other in there, And once the recipes are all set and power shards are in, we are ready to go. So that just gives us one little belt headache to figure out first, and that's getting those pressure conversion cubes down there. So what I did was I brought them from their drone port, through our main control building, through all the walls, all the stuff, out to an output zone for all the fuel rods and mission criticals. After they go through the control room, here's where we can see all of the different items moving through once the power plant is active. So the last shipment of parts went through this slot, which is for the cubes. Then they go out through this wall, down their path this way. And then I just had to belt them all the way to the other side of the plant. From here, down onto this belt highway, through all of our other shenanigans, past the uranium, and then way back underneath those reactors there. Which took no time at all, was barely an inconvenience. And now we have everything we should need to make plutonium fuel rods. Just reorganized the assemblers a little bit, made it a little bit more pretty, made the pathing all right, and without further ado, this just has to go to there, and that loads in the cubes. The plutonium cells were preloaded, and now we've done it. The final stage of getting the nuclear power plant online. There we have it. Our first plutonium fuel rods, yippee! All to go into the sink and get us awesome shot points through their own very convoluted set of belts that goes all the way up here, all the way to there, and then all the way back to the control room where they can be redirected to their proper destination. Oh my gosh, I actually can't believe it. That was the final step. The power plant is ready to come online. It's actually so crazy. I've been working on this for so many months. I wonder what mistakes past kids did. Probably nothing, right? Probably not. Yeah, no, it's all gonna be fine. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna make so much power. It's gonna be amazing. And even if we do end up with some uranium waste, we can flush the toilet for a little bit. It'll be fine. All right, well, what we just need to do is send these fuel rods into the system. Because we don't have the Mark 6 belts, we're not making a whole whack of them, but on average, we're making about, well, sign says 15 per minute, but that goes up between 15 and like 40. So we'll see how that goes. The main thing is we just need to switch one of these levers. Oh, to send them into the power plant. Probably this one, right? Right. All right, what that does is it turns off a awesome sink up there. The fuel rods will start backing up, and then they'll overflow at that smart splitter over into the proper system. Once that happens, you rock and roll. And the production is picking up just in time. Things are almost backed up, and it's time for the show to begin. So the uranium fuel rods will head through this way. They're gonna go up into that control building there and then be distributed across the hundreds of nuclear power plants we have spread throughout the entire biome. Now, will one belt be wrong? Will there be problems? Certainly. Hopefully it's nothing too mission critical. But we're looking pretty good for now. And off go the fuel rods. So some of them get distributed down into this set, like that one. Or some are distributed over there and other places. Again, I've been working on this for months. I'm kind of relearning the system as we're going through it too here. But these are looking good. The water is all hooked up. That's what all these pipes are for. That goes down this way, that way. And it's just an overflow system with the fuel rods until they all back up as the power plants come online, brother. And for a brief moment, we're big chillin'. Oh, and that moment's over. The uranium waste has begun. Let's breathe for just a second though, you know? Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? Making 2,500 megawatts per minute. Oh, and that's just for now. See, later on, we're going to fully overclock all of these once we automate power shard production. So this is only the beginning enough. We gotta find the waste. What's going on with the waste? We have to make sure all those systems are running fine. In the same kind of way as the uranium is spread out, the waste is collected onto a couple belts here and goes back to the control room before being distributed to where it's supposed to go. And with the waste, if things don't work out properly, we do have an emergency system where I can flip some levers inside the control building and all the waste will end up in these couple bins here. Let's check out the control room once again, where I think things are fine because our monitoring room is looking good. This is the control room for the waste. If there is ever a problem, we reconfigure these smart splitters to send the waste down a different belt, and then inside the control room itself, oh, look at all our barrels of fun. All right, let's stop looking at the barrels of fun. Back to production. The waste leaves the control building and goes into this weird cube. And inside the weird cube are mergers and splitters, which take whatever input we get out there and evenly distributes it out this way into a variety of blenders, like the ones up on this roof here. These blenders take the uranium waste and process it into non-fissile uranium. After its quick dip in the forbidden Kool-Aid, it's off to the Colosseum, where it engages in its greatest battle, going through, I think, like 60 particle accelerators or something like that. I've lost count. There are a lot of them. Each particle accelerator cycles between 250 and 750 megawatts. Times that by a lot, and that's a bit of a power issue. Oh wait, it would be a power issue if we weren't already making so much power. There's a freaking power pole around these parts. Ring, ring, hello. Like actually, okay, there we go. Where are we at now? 225, up another 65,000 megawatts, and the number keeps rising. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to show off one of my masterpieces in here. This is a 6-to-6 load balancer. Just like with the uranium waste, we take the belts of non-fissile uranium, and no matter what we get here, it goes through this balancer, and we get equal belts leaving here. So we can know all the systems on the other end will run efficiently. Ideally, hopefully, maybe, I don't really exactly know. We did a little test back in the day just to make sure some of the belts went to the right locations, but this is the first, like, big run through. Anything and everything can go wrong. And again, if it does, even for a couple minutes, we're in a bit of a spot. But everything should end up right over here as plutonium pellets, or encased plutonium cells, sorry, which can be turned into plutonium fuel rods. So come on, let's move, broccoli boxes. I need the good stuff. Give me my plutonium cells. I need to see that everything's running properly. We still need to run through everywhere and, oh gosh, make sure all of the belts are upgraded. We should be getting more non-fissile uranium here. Oh, never mind, we have more. Oh my gosh. Yeah, loops, we gotta get going. None of the system is really built properly yet. We need to upgrade to Mark 6 belts in a lot of different places. But so far, so good. Doodads are in, redistributed, and our first full cycle of the nuclear power plant has practically concluded. That will go off to the awesome sink. That means the waste is being processed. That means we are probably safely making 226,000 megawatts. Now we just have to run through the rest of the world and start upgrading a lot of stuff so we can actually keep processing all of the uranium waste. Because although we're not making probably the 2,000 yet, we're still making a lot. And if we can't keep this process going, the party's gonna stop real quick. All right, so management, you keep an eye on things, okay? Because we'll have to leave and upgrade the space elevator. And all things considered, it shouldn't be too bad. We need 500 assembly director systems. That's just with something and supercomputers. All right, magnetic field generators, thermal propulsion rockets. Okay, that's, and some pasta. It's kind of spooky stuff, but it is something I have been preparing for. Up in our main base here, I have a floor called the Factory of Factories. It produces pretty much every single item in the game and has been supplying kind of my dimensional depot here, so we can build all the stuff we need. So all we really need to do is bring things from this floor up to the next floor and make a temporary space elevator part production line. And most importantly, past Kibs left plenty of workspace for such projects. Just above our factory of factories, we have all this dead space, so we can just bring everything upstairs and it'll be fine. Maybe. Let's see what the project entails. Adaptive control units, automated wiring, circuit boards, heavy modular frames, computers. Well, we have these three. Automated wiring? How do we go about that? We go about that with wires? No cables. Well, we have cables, we have stators, no biggie. Next on the agenda, thermal propulsion rockets. Modular engines, that's the only thing we don't have. We got turbo motor systems, whatever. These require, oh gosh, smart plating and some other stuff. How do you make a modular engine? What is going on? Why is there so much happening? Smart plating, reinforced plates, and rotors. Again, we have all this stuff. It's just, this floor is gonna turn into a total disaster. One second, you know what? You know what we really need? Project Hoos. A little project workshop. You will be our great savior. Why? Because inside we have a bunch of signs set up and we can just write things down at our space elevator temporary setup. Boom. I'm ready. In fact, I'm a little more than ready because I pulled a little bit of a foolies here. You see, I actually did work a little bit on the tier 9 stuff and it's all done. Wow. I did this forever ago. And I just didn't want to tell you guys about it because I thought it'd be funny. So, re-automated pressure conversion cubes, because why not? We have all of the modular engines being made. I used all the Somers loops I could find to make as many parts as possible. And again, it's just by bringing everything from upstairs, so it really just took time and not a lot of effort. And as I went around working on a variety of other projects, all of these have been stacking up in the background. Because I kind of realized once we got the nuclear power plant running that we wouldn't have a lot of time to fiddle around and wait for the temporary.tm productions. And since it's been running for a minute, well, we got some goods here, there, and everywhere. So quick trip to the space elevator down to the south. And we just have to load the items and send them on up, brother. All right, space elevator. Assembly director systems completed. Magnetic field generators onboarded. Thermal propulsion rockets inbound and pasta served. We are ready to load the cargo and seal the deal. Oh, and watch the movie.
Welcome to the Pioneers Got Power Problems presentation. That was a joke. Anyway, you're familiar with the process. Just throw the lever and the automated systems will take over. Imagine all the time and effort that would be wasted if you had to do all that work as well. Some work is just better suited for machines.
Ooh.
Phase 5 contains technology the human brain cannot comprehend, so just trust in me and Ficsite policy and everything will go as planned. Answering all your questions will take time we simply do not have. Everything is going to be just fine, so long as you do your job. We've come this far together after all, haven't we? Anyway, you know what to do. Just don't forget to keep producing previous project parts, and plan ahead when setting up new production lines, and make sure not to leave it all until the last moment.
About that. Yeah, it's been probably 300 hours since we finished Phase 3, so I am very excited for Phase 4. Delivering and finishing project assembly. we have it. Look at the rockets on that bad boy. Sheesh. It's like a UFO we're building, or something getting stored there. We'll find out soon, in like another 1,000 hours. We did it.
Phase 4 of project assembly completed. If style was measured in my performance reports, yours would be something special.
True.
Regardless, saving the day is within our grasp. Do not lose focus now. You must understand the weight on your shoulders, but you are not alone. I am here, and I know exactly what's at stake. This goes beyond Earth. Your actions will affect the universe at large. You might think I am exaggerating. Perhaps you will understand once you finish project assembly. Phase 5 awaits. I expect your best work.
You mean I have to save more than just the puppies and kittens? The universe is at stake? But I'll just take my merry time, thank you. Except we are going to rush to those Mark 6 belts. We need those immediately. We need those right now. We have to automate a bunch of stuff. It's gonna be crazy. So at our hub, how do we unlock them? We need peak efficiency. Oh, we get Ficsonium here too. Ficsonium fuel rods. Ooh, and the belts. Wow. Oh, what the heck? We need a time crystal for that? Diamonds that are being reconfigured at a subatomic level. Okay. And the Ficsite trigon. Made from Ficsite ingots. It is perfectly shaped for all construction challenges. Its performance is so exceptional, it has basically solved structural engineering. But can it solve my vehicle deadlocks? I don't think so. Well, maybe it could actually. But we need these time crystals, and I think that comes from matter conversion. This is the big tier 9 meme. Converters, which can convert resources into Ficsite ingots, then into the trigons, and then we can also make diamonds for the time crystals. There's a biochemical sculpture. And the biggest thing of all is finally having a use for SAM. SAM is the thing that can change other resources into Ficsite. And if you're creative, you can do some other stuff too, but we'll see that in a moment. First, we need the stuff. Send the rocket. Give me my new tech.
Milestone reached. The converter uses strange alien matter, abbreviated to SAM, to break down and transform materials at their most fundamental levels. I am sure even you can appreciate the power to manipulate atomic bonds. Most importantly, you are now able to locally create Ficsite, a highly adaptable synthetic metal, ideal for any kind of construction. It is everything we need to save the day, and perhaps its admirable qualities can inspire you.
Perhaps. Okay, that gives us my favorite thing in the game, the converter. These things take up a whole whack of power, and beyond making the Ficsite, they also can change one resource into another. So if we had some limestone, combine it with some SAM, we can get iron. Or if you want to get real creative, you could turn bauxite into uranium. Or you could make more bauxite from copper. Technically speaking then, you can make the limestone into sulfur, the sulfur into copper, the copper into bauxite, and then the bauxite into uranium. Wow, lots of potential right there, bud, but we will explore that later. Most important is getting those unlocks so we can get the Mark 6 belts. So we're gonna need some space. So temporary space elevator part setup. Thank you for your service, but you're gone. Oh, I didn't get rid of everything? Boop it. Thank you, unholy powers of editing. Okay, let's figure out how to make the stuff. So I know we need the converter, right? That's gonna require a little bit of sham to make the Ficsite. We can make Ficsite out of converted iron ingots and a lot of SAM, holy macaroni. We can use Caterium, which is a couple ingots, or we could use aluminum. But my aluminum is used for other projects, so I guess it's either iron or Caterium. And I'm feeling Caterium. Then how do we get the SAM? SAM is from just a constructor, eh? It's so funny, we messed around with this in like, I don't know, episode 2, making reanimated SAM for something. And now here we are. So 120 to 30, okay. We'll find some Caterium somewhere. We have it all over the place. And then the trigons are actually just a one-stage thing. Just the constructor turning the ingots into the trigons. Oh, and good, we get a lot of trigons per ingot. But that's only half the battle. Diamonds. How do you get a diamond? There's a good joke to be said, but might get me demonetized. Anyway, we use the particle accelerator, and we turn coal into diamonds. I am very well aware of a variety of alternate recipes for this, but for the time being, we need to rush through, and we're just going to use this. So the diamonds then go into another converter. Come over here, Billy. And that turns them into time crystals. Jeez, look at the power in the conversions here, though. 600 coal, 750 megawatts for 30 diamonds. Those 30 diamonds will get us 15 time crystals. 15 time crystals? From 600 coal? Oh my gosh, this economy. It is what has to be done, though. We can unlock and get better recipes later. We're in a race against time before the nuclear plant explodes, so let's just move on with this. We're gonna set up some particle accelerators first and get this part of the project done. The good news is that we have tons and tons and tons and tons of coal. Now, earlier on, I was going to use coal for our aluminum setup, but I didn't. I used petroleum coke. So now we have like 780 belts all over the place of coal, ready to be converted into diamonds. So we'll set up a few particle accelerators right here, just because we have enough ceiling space. Should be okay. It's looking like three if I place them well. And the other half of the plan was I wanted to have converters back here. And we're just gonna try and fit in as many as we can. The only thing we're doing right now is we're making equipment for our dimensional depot. We're not gonna use any of these diamonds or time crystals for any other production line. I just wanna make the items, and then I wanna send them into the dimensional depot so we can build the Mark 6 belts literally everywhere. You know what, after building a couple converters, I realized I think we should probably make a blueprint for them. Yeah, we're gonna be building a lot, and all of them will be practically set up the same, just with some screwy boys underneath. A huge overflow system. And okay, that took T-minus 0 seconds. How much Caterium would we need for this setup? It's 60 ingots per machine. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's a 600 belt of Caterium for real? Past Kibs, I knew you planned this. Good job, Past Kibs, you're a genius. But do we have enough SAM? Do we have enough SAM? If each machine is gonna take up 45 reanimated SAM each, that's crazy, actually. Each machine here only can produce 30. Okay, so 45 times 10, right? 450 divided by 30. Oh no. Divided by 30 is 15 constructors. We need 15 constructors, 15 times 120? That is way more SAM than I'm willing to commit to this system. So how about this? We'll just leave in the capacity, but it'll probably stutter a bit. I don't even know if we have SAM around here. Wait, we do. I remember. Yes, we had SAM for some reason in our factory of factories, right? What did I use this for? Oh, we used the SAM to make it reanimated and then into fluctuators. Oh, and I guess those are important nowadays, eh? Because the converters need 100 fluctuators each? Those are expensive, buddy. What's our stockpile of these things looking like? Oh, it's not even a large storage bin. Oh, they only come in stacks of 100. Wait, we're only able to build 5 converters at a time? We're gonna need a little bit more capacity there, friendo. Let's just do this, go a little overkill with it. And then with the 3-dimensional depots for the one single item, that allows us to upload 240 times 3, 720 items to our depot per minute. And then it's just our production rate that's a little slow. But I'll fiddle with that a little bit later. Yeah, we gotta start stacking up on diamonds and time crystals and just the whole 9 yards. Because we need the diamonds and the Ficsite and all this stuff to make the belts, right? And these machines are slow. So we gotta go fast. And okay, I'm not kidding. I don't even care about how much power this is gonna take. It's a lot, but it's necessary. In fact, it's more than necessary. Give me the loops. It's time. Fully overclocked. This is already a lot. With the loops? And me. Wait, no, it's totally fine. We are out of the poor boy power situation now. Oh, yeah, brother. We got a lot of power. Nuclear power plant is warmed up a bit, and it is, woof, making the steam, brother. Yeah, we got power to spare for now until the system blows up, which it won't, but if it did, yeah. All right, we'll overclock and do as much as we can. Start building up a little bit of a supply in a box. We'll use them in converters in just a moment. But first, we gotta find some Caterium. We need Caterium for the Ficsite, and I know we have the SAM, but I'm pretty sure past Kibs brought some Caterium. Let's go, buddy. But wait, where is it going? Oh my god, what is this? What is happening? Past Kibs, why do you do stuff like this to me? Well, and everything's simple. All we gotta do is bring the SAM upstairs. So we just do a little bit of this. Throw on a floor hole up there. And we are good to go. How much SAM do we still have on this line? No idea. Is it enough? Yes, because it's literally more than 0. I do not care about our production rates yet. We simply want to get things actually running. Okay, and also, it kind of needs to look good. Just brought it upstairs, one more floor to all of our other gear, and now it's looking great. So yeah, just a couple constructors, goes to the bins. The bins with the reanimated SAM overflows through all these machines on the left, because yeah, we actually needed these to convert the time crystals. And super quick, just went underneath, stored some stuff, brought the Caterium up, and it is ready to start. Go. My favorite new machine. Make me the cool stuff. I love them. I love them. They're the best. Now, where's the Caterium? Did I already load that into the system? I did. Good job past me. Fantastic. And look at that. That's a time crystal. Scooting, moving into the Binarinski, where we have to have tons of them. Again, we need them for the Mark 6 belts, and we're going to be building a lot of Mark 6 belts. And in the bin next to it, eventually, we end up with our Ficsite ingots. Oh, you little rascals are kind of punk bustas, but you also look fantastic, so it's worth it. Oh, wait, still one more step. What am I doing? These ingots aren't what we need. We need the trigons. I kind of want to leave this space a little bit open, so we'll build the trigons downstairs using one of our classic blueprints, the 10 constructor stack. Well, the items just need to go through the middle splitter boy, and it overflows through the rest of the machines. For these machines, we're not making steel pipes. No, we're trigons now. Copy paste the recipe. Ingots on down. Load them all up. Then get the trigons and crystals into these big old dimensional uploaders. Now we wait. This is gonna take a very, very, very long time because once the backlog is gone, well, the production, especially for these, is very, very, very slow. But while I was overclocking and slooping machines, I realized something very, very important. And that is that the diamonds here only need the coal, right? 600 coal per minute. Then it just needs a converter. So technically speaking, we could just put a particle accelerator and a couple converters into a blueprint and then start spamming that blueprint near all of the coal nodes around the world. Can we fit all the machines in the blueprint maker? We could unlock the Blueprint Mark III maker now. It's like just a larger version of the Mark II. And I feel like this would be more useful to more people if I made this blueprint available. All right, the only hope of this ever working is if we can stack these up here. Come on. Don't encroach, don't be a punk busta. Come on. Oh, it's possible. Oh, it is so possible. Dude, that is huge. Can we fit 2? We can fit 2? Okay, I can pretty this up in a moment, but do the numbers work out? So again, we find a coal node. It has 600 coal per minute, 30 diamonds. And that can only go into 2.5 converters. Can we fit a third converter in here? No, I think we pressed our luck already. Oh, but what we can do is, how many diamonds do we need? 24. we can underclock this to 80%. Aha! Now we're big chillin'. Once I figure out all the belt work. I have figured out all of the belt work. So the coal will go into here, goes to the particle accelerator. Everything scoots around to the converters, and from the converters, I was able to combine everything into a big old bin, and then into a dimensional depot uploader. So none of these will be fast, none of them will be super efficient, but they'll work. And you know what's better than 0 time crystals? Any amount of time crystals, okay? So let's run around and set a few up. I know there is a coal node of sorts. Oh, over here. I think this is a pure one. Just down this way. Oh my gosh. A little bit of lag there. A little spooky. And then that takes up 480 coal. If we have a pure node, we can definitely run 2 of these at least. Oh, yes, we can. Man, those actually look pretty dang cool. Kind of pleased with myself here. Good job, Kibs. Thanks, Kibs. Items loaded. Powering both. Now we're making even more time crystals. Eventually. 600 coal is a lot to load up. Once we have the Mark 6 belts though, ooh, these things will be flying. Wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? Gibbs, stop. We can get the Mark 6 belts right now. Get back to base. We need peak efficiency. What do we need though? 5,000 alclad aluminum sheets, 10,000 iron plates. Oh, but wait. We have this, our old school storage hub, where I've stored a variety of just early game items in case we ever needed them. And well. It only took 500 hours for this to be useful, but better believe it's useful now, buddy. And we are ready. We got them.
Milestone reached. After close scrutiny, 2 problems were identified in Mark V conveyor belts. The first was the belt part, so force fields have been implemented in the Mark VI instead, to maximize transfer speeds. The second problem is inefficient pioneers, but sadly no remedy is available for this severe impediment. Yet.
What? What do you mean by this, Ada? Doesn't matter. We have them, after long last. The Mark VI belts. Jumping our resources per minute from 780 with the Mark Vs to 1,200 per minute. But as you can see, they do take the time crystals, and they take a lot of them. You see that 16 time crystals per minute? That is like 2.5 converters processing time right there. Ooh, but they are so pretty, and they are so efficient. And the most important thing about them is they allow us to get more resources in the game. So if we upgrade the miner to a Mark III, fully overclock it, pretend we fully overclocked it, okay? Anyway, if we fully overclock it, we get 1,200 items per minute out of a pure node, and with all those extra resources, we can do a heck of a lot. Early on in the playthrough, I planned around having the Mark 6 belts specifically because I knew we could get more and more resources. So I just built the machines beforehand. That does mean we're gonna have to run around the world and upgrade thousands of belts, but it is a small price to pay for peak efficiency. Right, next step, we gotta find a couple more coal nodes to throw converters onto. I know one area that has a bunch of coal nodes that I quickly want to yoink. It is way over in the rocky desert here, just off in the corner. There is a nitrogen node right there, and we can bring the power out and around, and then we'll have plenty of space to build. And once we set that up, we'll go back to the nuclear power plant and see what is going on. You know, odds are everything's fine, but there might be some quirks. It's all designed around the Mark 6 belts, and without them, I don't exactly know what will happen. But I do know we're gonna need the time crystals to probably fix the problems. So let's just finish that up. With these power lines and our blueprints, it shouldn't take too long at all. A quick 1, 2, 3. Now we're good to go and check on the nuclear power plant. That should be enough time crystals to build a stockpile up. Let's see what is going on. Since the power's not out, like, the worst case scenario, what I'm assuming is things are just really slow. And that's why there's some hiccups in the power production. It would be pretty ridiculous if there's anything else going on. Unironically, there shouldn't be something like this happening. How is there nuclear waste? Where is the broccoli? Why? How? Is there what? This is actually impossible. Also, design flaw. I fixed it. Problem solved, right? No, kind of good. If the belt is not full over there, that means we may have just caught the problem before it got much worse. How is this possible, though? Where's the problem? Okay, we'll figure out the problem in a second. We are prepared for these sorts of things. We have systems. We have controls in place. What do we do first? This is cable management. Why don't I have a door to the control room? Hindsight, eh? Do be like that. Okay, first things first. Emergency protocol. What do? We get the waste out of Dodge. It is filling up the reactors. If the reactors fill up, then the power shuts down. And at this point, we are using so much power all over the place, we could crash the entire world's power grid, and that would be literally the worst thing that could possibly happen. Where are we at, though? 400,000 megawatts? Okay, so probably the waste hasn't backed up too much then. It's backed up a lot, though. But it's moving. It's going to emergency areas, and then switches. Uranium. Yes, uranium. This switch should, theoretically, just turn off the uranium fuel rod production. Or it could crash our entire grid right now. That's okay. It says fuse blown, but the main grid seems to be up. Did that actually, for real work? Why don't I have a power pole in this place? Is there one down here? Okay, that is another design flaw. Let's just look somewhere else. Why did those stop? Why does that keep going? Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, here we go. Why? That's impossible! Wait. No, that is totally possible. All the wires around this entire plant are... What? I'm so confused. I'm sorry. Is this going to the emergency area? I think it is. These are the emergency paths. What I was saying about the wires is they're all properly labeled by past Kibitz. And past Kibitz knew exactly what was going on, so it's fine. Okay, and the waste is going to the emergency area. And you know, hindsight being 2020, I probably should have actually made like an emergency processing area. Kind of forgot about that. Just kind of realizing. It's fine. It's fine. We'll figure this out later. If we have a couple bins, it's no biggie. Oh, whoa. Wait. It's probably too late, actually. But what I should have done a second ago is I should have started dumping all of the fuel rods. We have an emergency fuel rod dump right over here. But I think all the remaining fuel rods actually have already gone through. All right. Oh. Now that is interesting. This should be on our world power grid. Because of an emergency like this, we want to dump the fuel rods, but switch isn't working. Okay. Well, that is one legitimate problem. Oh, and of course, the other legitimate problem, why are we backed up on uranium waste everywhere? How did this possibly happen? Well, I think I know the culprit. We should be making the broccoli out of the waste. That is the main thing. Why weren't we making broccoli? The broccoli turns into plutonium fuel rods. So what is up with you? Nitric acid? Nitric acid? Out of all the things, nitric acid? Nitric acid is like gas, water, and a little bit of iron plates. How, of all the things in the world, nitric acid, really? That's like one of the easier products in this entire build. We've made plutonium freaking fuel rods. Like, nitric acid out of everything? Is this like a pump issue, maybe? Are the pumps even powered? There's nitric acid over here. And I guess because we just shut down the entire system, that means we're not gonna be able to diagnose the problem simply. I think we have to turn everything back on, make a little bit more uranium waste, so we can actually figure out what's happening. And you know what? It's whatever. We already have probably, 10,000 uranium waste everywhere. That's a little bit more. Oh, did we just, wait. Did we just for real crash the power grid this time? Uh-oh. Come on. Don't be dead. It's dead. Just turn on. Wasn't worried for a second. That was all. Okay, I was pretty worried for a second there. Okay, so let's solve this problem immediately so we don't have as much waste places. So it seems it's a problem with the nitric acid. We are making nitric acid out the wazoo though. And we had a bunch because we already saw that the plutonium setup was working. So somehow the nitric acid system stopped working, which is even more strange. Oh yeah, look at this. All of the machines are on standby. How? What? We don't have iron plates. I was thinking it would be like a piping issue. Maybe I didn't hook one up? You cannot be serious, right? Really? Really? We have made plutonium fuel rods. We have made electromagnetic control rods, oil setups out the wazoo. And you're telling me that the whole nuclear power plant isn't working because we don't have iron plates. Okay. Uh-huh. Well, we're making them down here in a couple assemblers because I was like, oh my gosh, let's be quirky and make the iron plates with this plastic recipe. But we don't have the plastic. So is the oil setup not working? There's no way. This can't be the case. I have checked over this entire system. We've done a little bit of a test way earlier on, like weeks and weeks and weeks ago. This is working. I see it working. Oh, some machines are on standby though for fuel. Is there a problem back this way? More standby stuff. But that's probably, it looks like the system's just clogged. Not enough fuel. Okay, sure. There are some problems here that I can quickly fix later on. But we shouldn't have zero plastic. Where's the plastic? It all ends up here. And then there's just no belt over there. Watch this, observe. I just forgot to bring the plastic over, didn't I? Dude, just. Oof. That's a psychological hit right there. Wait. What is this though? This has to be the belt that goes over there, right? I bet it is. This is something past Kibs would do. It's like, oh, there's the iron ingots. Let's bring the plastic. Let's bring the belts together so we can get them all lined up and organized. That is past Kibs procedure. I know the guy, okay? This is what he does. Then the belts go up over here. They go over there. Okay, I already know. And then it goes out to there. And then, yeah, it's in the assembler. So what, how, and where is the plastic? Maybe I'm wrong about the oil setup. Maybe it is actually just straight up like borked. Or is it just even sillier? Ah, yes, I just didn't hook it up. Okay. Let me check my notes 1 second here. How much plastic do we need for the nitrogen setup? Well, actually, I guess fun fact, I can just show you at this point. These are my common productions, the raw resources we needed. Dissolved silica, we ended up not doing that. Nitric acid. Iron plates, we need about 409 per minute. And let me guess, one of these belts is 409? A 780 belt? Of plastic? And I just didn't bring this literally anywhere? You're kidding. Please, 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 please. The damage is too... But it's okay. The system should be fixed. We saw that the oil setup upstairs is running. Problem solved. Now, is that the only problem? Hopefully. I can't imagine there being anything else going on. At least not this significant. Like, again, like, I really just thought that the system might be slow. This was a little out of nowhere. But wait, how did this even... This is even more strange. It was working in the past, and now it's not. And then this pipe isn't even... Where's the nitric acid going? Oh no. What? This is impossible. This is impossible. Oh. Oh, I see. I just had this entire pipe of nitrogen. It is like 10 per minute or so, but I just like left it over here for no reason. All right, so that's problem 2. We're gonna have to send that from A to B somewhere, connect it anywhere. That system will be fine. Okay, but we should, yes, we have fixed the nitric acid system. I am seeing green, good, more green, better. Now for the other problem. The maybe 100,000 barrels of uranium waste. How do we get rid of this? Actually, I don't think we need to. If the plutonium setup gets running again, then this will all be processed. It's really just the extra waste that we have now in the bins. Hopefully the bins didn't fill up. Let's see, what's the damage? Looks like we've cleared the lines, so your nuclear power plants are fine. I've got 10,000 here, not bad. 13,000 there, not bad. Okay, less than 50,000 barrels of nuclear waste. Could have been worse. Could have been better, could have been worse. I guess that's not counting all the barrels we already have here though. Or how we're gonna get rid of the extra waste in there. You know, theoretically, if this all gets moving again, then we could just reintroduce the waste into the system and it would be fine, right? Feel like that's the play. It's an easy play. It would technically work. Sure, you know what? Let's do that. We'll set up some bins over here. We'll bring the excess waste to here. And then so long as it goes into the system, this is a belt balancer, right? A 5-to-5 belt balancer. So any belt that enters this system is evened out by the time it leaves the system. So this shouldn't cause any big hiccups either. This is good. This is very good. Not exactly the emergency system I had in mind, but it'll work. That is, if the system actually comes back online here. We'll be making the nitric acid now, so this should all start up. So why isn't it starting up? It's in the pipe, it's moving, it's grooving. I guess it's just stuck in the control room. There are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of pipes. Are the acid reserves full? Acid reserves are full. This was for the emergency system that I was going to build, but we don't have that system and we just have all this nitric acid right sitting here. Could we just temporarily bring a pipe from A to B? And the answer is yes. The answer is abso-freaking-lutely yes. Where's that pump at? Just over here. Yes. Yes. Let's go. Quick fixes and temporary solutions. Yippee. Everything's gonna be fine. There we go. Look at all that extra acid. Fantastic. Do we need a pump here? Nope. Will I build a pump here? Yep. Where's some power around these parts? I see pumps here. I see power there. Click, click, click the button. All right, it's moving. Fantastic. Yes, look at all that. Yes, we're processing it. Oh, buddy, problem solved. My precious broccoli go-go broccoli boxes be processed into our precious plutonium. Dare I say, problem solved? Question mark? Just to help the system a little bit, we'll add on a valve here. Make sure there's no backflow. Everything going directly up into the blenders. Making our Kool-Aid. Waste. It's moving. We're processing. And because we're getting rid of the uranium fuel rods, we're not making any more uranium waste. Well, I guess there are the existing fuel rods in the system. Oh my gosh, wait. We've been making this much waste the whole time still? Oh, and here I was thinking, oh boy, we only made like 25,000 uranium waste that we're stuck with. Where did we end up now? 15,000, 12,000. That's not bad at all. I guess because the system isn't running at full capacity, we're not making waste at full capacity. So just a quick yoink. Grab you. Doesn't fit in my inventory. It's okay though. It's okay though. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. And look at this, we're already through like all of that waste. Wow, except for one belt isn't working, not as wowie. What the heck, dude? Why are you not cool? Go over this way, that way, through all this system. Now place your bets. Is this a nitric acid problem? Like, has the nitric acid just not flown through to here yet? Or is it something else? Nitric acid problem, okay. So it's still the one problem we know about. We haven't found another issue yet. And the broccoli is absolutely flowing at this point, friendos. How is our emergency acid supply? These are full. Now that is a new one for me. I don't know why that's not working. Oh, unless the system over here is already full of nitric acid because our processes are properly online, which they are. So all the nitric acid is fine. This is running at full throttle again because this pipe is full. Okay. This is actually all just a good thing. And the forbidden Kool-Aid is ours. Oh, main thing is, look at that. That one line that was stuffed full of waste, it's being drained. That means the acid's over there. Systems are running back full throttle. Look at that, the excess waste is draining. Fantastic. Then let's normalize all systems. I feel like that is probably the worst possible outcome we could have had happen there. So to get things back to normal, we copy this, redirect the waste through normal channels, and see our final tally. So we had about 27,000 earlier, and like another 5,000. Okay, so like 30,000 uranium waste. Not bad. And what's even better is we didn't need to build an emergency system. Our system's just that good, at least for now, because it's still not at full power. You see, we have to optimize all of our systems with Mark 6 belts in order to actually make all of the uranium fuel rods that this factory is designed to make. And now that we're in phase 4 of the space elevator, we can automate power shards. Power shards, which we're gonna need to fill all of these reactors. They are all designed to run fully overclocked. So 400,000 megawatts? That's just the beginning, bud. However, that is gonna be all for now. But if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to support me further, check out my Patreon. I'll be uploading all of my blueprints there. And once the power plant is running at 100%, I'll upload a world save for all of you to enjoy. But until then, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.